Hello, hello. Let's look at, or well, more like listen to sounds next. And I went through some of my old maps to save some work. And I found these combination entities in my map phrase book. And what we have here, we have a speaker and then we have a trigger timer. And how this works, okay, let's talk about design first. There are basically two kinds of sounds in the world. The other is continuous, like wind and crickets, and the other is a sound that occurs occasionally, like dogs barking or something like that. And here I have examples of these both. So here is the occasionally occurring sound. So I have a speaker with shader city sounds varied, and it's waiting for a trigger. And how this sounds like, this is a combination of different sounds which then play when this trigger timer triggers this. So what happens is that this trigger timer starts on, so when the map starts it goes on, and then it waits 40. I think this means that it's like from 20 to 60 seconds, and then it triggers this speaker, and then it starts again. And when it triggers this, then it will play this sound. In the area, the min distance and max distance are shown here. And we see that the max distance is too large for this map, because I want it to be on this outside area only. I will drop this to not that, maybe 20. That's good. And then I have an exact copy of this over here. So I will change here also the... No, not in the trigger timer, but into the speaker. Like that. So now I have some random city sounds coming from these areas. I have two of these combination entities. Sorry about that. Then I have these continuous sounds. So I put a speaker with this range, and basically what this does, it loops this animal cricket sound. So it sounds like this. The basic night sound effect. Very convenient. And then this final one is wind. So it gives this nice atmosphere for the outside area. And now we have the outside area pretty much covered. And then for this interior we have the sounds that comes from the flames. And I noticed that some wooden creaks have been added. So I'll just take this speaker system, I copy it, and then I change the city sounds varied into... This is only two sounds, I want more. This kind of wood creaking sounds. I think they will fit quite nicely into a wooden building, especially an old one. And then I move this inside, maybe so that the creaking sounds come from the roof. And also the speaker does not again need to be that big, so I'll make it a bit smaller. It needs to cover this area, so I'll put just 15. And this had the same setting with this trigger timer, so every 20 seconds to 1 minute you hear the sounds. Not very. If you have them happening too often, then it might get very irritating. So I have one here, and then maybe I put another into the bedroom. There. And now we have the outside and inside sounds pretty much covered. And next we are doing location settings. That will allow us to define locations and ambient sounds or music for each of these locations. It will also allow us to change the ambient light color, but that's out of the scope of this tutorial. But first what we need to do is that we need to define the locations. So I will start by putting a location separator into each of these vis portals. I want this to be at the one area, and then I want this area to be one, and then I want this bedroom to be one. So we will have 3 areas, but we need to separate them so that the engine knows which area is which. So first I will put info location separator. These sit on vis portals, and then they define the location. Now this area is not properly defined because we have 2 ways out of this area. But now when we put the location separator on both the window and the door, then this area is now considered separate. And now this area and this area are one area. But if I put a location separator here, now this area is 1, and this area is 1, and this area is 1. So we have now 3 areas. Then we need location settings. That's the main location setting entity. Here we declare what sounds we are using. And then we need to, in each location we need to have info location entity. So here we have the bedroom info location, then we have this area info location, and then we have the outside area. And now we can pretty much define the songs that will play in each area. So let's look at the location settings next. This is the place where we define all the sounds that we will be playing, all the musics. So first we will define SND bedroom, and then I will say SND inside, and then SND outside. And now I can choose the sound for each of these. Let's start from the outside. Here in the ambience we have lots of different sounds which you can play around with and find various ones. I think I will use this. Is good for the outside area, I think. Or maybe this one. Maybe I'll be using this one for the outside. That's nice. So now I have defined the outside music. Then when the player comes inside, I was thinking of using this derelict. I think that's good for the bakery interior. And finally I want the sound for the bedroom, which I think one of these derelict 4. It has even more intimidating tone to it, so I'll choose that one. And now I have set in the location settings I have set the different when I refer to S&D bedroom, then it's this song that will play. And then in each info location I say, maybe I'll just copy this S&D bedroom, and then I say here ambient S&D bedroom. Yes, so for the info location in the bedroom I will use SpawnArg's ambient S&D bedroom, and then it will check what sound S&D bedroom was defined, and it will play this derelict in this area. And then we had S&D inside. I copy that, I move here, And here I say ambient SND inside. And finally we had SND outside. And I do the same for this info location. There. And now we have set up some sounds and the ambient musics. And as you can see, now we get to hear some music as well. In this area, and we move here. The music change. Oh, dogs are barking. Okay, let's go have a look also at the bedroom. Yeah, works. Now that we work with sounds, we also want to change the door sounds, because we have all gotten so used to this basic door sound that it somehow feels very unnatural to me, at least. So what I usually do, I just change it to something else so it sounds more fresh. Maybe that. I think actually maybe it's a creaky one. And then we change also the close sound. Yep, that's a good one. And then we also want to change this door to something else. Anything else but the default sound. That's a good one. And also we want to change the closing sound.